Yes, people, this video and the whole of pre-season tour is brought to you by Gowan Life and Oxford Natural. It's time to get optimized. You can get up to 70% off using code United View. The link is in the video description below. Scan your QR code. This tour is going to be like none other and it's powered by Gowan Life. Let's go. Come on.
Check this out. Oh, yeah.
Yes, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. We finally got there. The most delayed press conference I think I've ever covered here. At United View. Just finished about 10 minutes or so ago. I mean, it was meant to be initially it was going to be at like 2 p.m. UK time. Then that turned into, actually it's going to be 4:30. Then that turned into about 5 o'clock. Then that turned into about 5:30. Then that turned into sort of, well, just afterwards. Just afterwards. Oh my goodness me. We got there in the end though, folks. We got there. Welcome back to United View. How is everybody doing? Hope you're all doing good. Welcome to my Americanized, ta-da, press room. Yes, the Americanized press room. This is not the Asylum, okay? This is not the Asylum. The Asylum will be different for the match view tomorrow. But this is just maybe just a little teaser. This was just a little teaser, just a little bit something extra. You know, I thought why not? Why not have just a little bit extra? You know, it's tour, it's pre-season. You know, press conference reaction, haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought, why not? Why not sort of jazz up the place a little bit, yes? I thought, why not do that? Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United head coach, was joined by his first signing of the summer, that being Matheus Cunha in Chicago, or, you know, as the ring announcers would say when CM Punk comes to the ring, from Chicago, Illinois. In Chicago, but not playing in Chicago, but they're playing in, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium tomorrow because it's Manchester United versus West Ham. Kickoffs at midnight. I'll be live 2 hours before at 10 p.m. And the whole tour, including this stream, is brought to you by Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. You can scan the QR code that's either there or when it appears on the sidebar, or click the link in the video description below, or it's pinned in the chat. You can get your Optimum Day, you can get your Optimum Night, and you can get optimized with the new and improved brand new formula. And if you doubt about whether it works or not, I can bring in my special co-host, as per usual. It's Fat Owen. Yes, well, nice to have you here, Fat Owen. You're a bit of a chatter, aren't you? Yes, I know. Oh, yeah, you are. You are a bit of a chatter. Yeah. You know, you'll be saying to me, I tell you, you're saying, I need to get optimized. Yes, and you can do it. You can do it, old Owen, Fat Owen. Yes, you can. And you can do it too, folks. All you have to do is scan that QR code that's on the sidebar there, and you can get optimized. Get your Optimum Day and Night. Yes. And we're going to be. He's a talker, Fat Owen, isn't he? He's a talker. But he's going to be my co-host. He's going to be my co-host at different points of this pre-season tour. Yes. Be sure to smash the like button, folks. We've got close to 400 people watching, which is great. Some interesting stuff to talk about. Not really any, I suppose, bombshell stuff, shall we say, coming out of that presser. I think maybe some games by Ruben Amorim with the idea of the exiled five, what is being called the bomb squad, which I don't know why that's been called that. You know, they're called that. It kind of makes me cringe referring to them as the bomb squad, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm just referring to them as the Exiled Five. The suggestion, they could still be reintegrated back in the team. If Manchester United don't get the number that they're looking for, they could be brought back into the team. Yes, but these are the games you play in the press conferences. What else was there? This sort of generic questions to Matheus Cunha. Why have you joined Manchester United? Luke Shaw is world class. As soon as he said that, I thought, well, that's going to ruffle some feathers, isn't it? So he spoke about that, spoke about the best position for Bruno, and also when asked about signing more players, signing a striker, he said, look, if this is the squad that I start the season with, I'm happy. He said, we are clearly a better team with Cunha and with Brian Mbeumo. We're going to be talking about it, all of it, yes. What are people saying in the chat? Jumpers for Goalpost says it was an awful press conference, to be honest. Do you know what it was, yeah? Jumpers for Goalpost. Let me move the chat up here so you can actually see. There you go. We'll go back here, and we'll move Jumpers to Goalpost there. Perfect. I think after how long we had to wait for it, it was never going to be good, was it? it was never going to be good. To be honest, I was not taken aback, but I was slightly surprised by. I thought Ruben Amorim would get maybe some more difficult questions than he received in that presser. I thought the press was actually quite light on him. Really, I mean, there's a lot of different sort of turning the screw questions that could have been asked, really, about the Exiled Five, about Marcus Rashford, about Alejandro Garnacho, about Jadon Sancho specifically. Didn't really get that. Didn't get really asked all that much about his future. Didn't get really asked about, look, what happens if you completely sort of shit the bed this season? Are you worried about that? It didn't really get that. So it was quite a soft, light, not really probing press conference. I'm sure there's still plenty of time to come, isn't there? There's plenty of time to come. There's plenty of press conferences actually that can still happen. So I'm sure it's one of those ones where actually, softball questions first. Softball questions first, because actually, the harder questions will probably come at some point, right? The harder questions will probably come depending on the results too, right? Depending on the results, because if we say lose against West Ham tomorrow, then they'll really start to turn the screw, won't they? So yeah, I suppose it's one of those ones where actually they can just be a bit light. So we didn't really get any sort of really juicy stuff. Like I said, I'll get the quotes up on the screen for you guys very shortly. And yeah, he seemed in a pretty pleasant mood overall, I would say. Ruben Amorim in that press conference, pretty pleasant mood. Again, whether or not that will continue based on performances, we will see. It does say quite a lot, doesn't it? That the club that takes forever in the transfer market, literally was delayed like an hour and 45 minutes for the for the presser. That is also quite hubris. But yes. Nesta says, "Where's the tour content?" Flex and KG, the video went up yesterday with them being in New York. There was a lot of filming yesterday. There'll be a video, I'm sure, going up today. I know that they've got planned in to go to MetLife Stadium early. There'll be a match preview that either goes up late tonight, maybe early tomorrow. There'll also be maybe a crashes video as well. It's all going off. Don't you worry, folks. Don't you worry. It's all coming here. Don't worry at all. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Members chat here from Nesta, who's been a member for 2 years, says, "Still looking for the jersey I want, Owen, LOL. Tell the crew to meet me and we can forget about it." Honestly. Well, if Josh or Flex are watching, they've got the access to the email, and we'll keep forwarding it. You will get your shirt, Nesta. You should have got it already. We will make that happen. Apologies for that. Amador says, "Owen, I'm getting dinner from IKEA. Recommend it. Go getting the meatballs from IKEA. Probably sums up, probably sums up actually, where sort of this press conference is, isn't it? Yeah. Probably. All right, Aminal. I'd rather that though than the sort of raunchy ones because it gets awkward, doesn't it? Right, let's talk about these quotes, beginning with Ruben Amorim being asked about. Obviously, you've got your two players in Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. How pleased are you that they're in? And how pleased are you that they're in for the US tour? And he said, and it was typical Ruben Amorim. I'm really pleased. It was first press conference of the preseason. I was really pleased, really happy. They are really, to get him in as soon as possible. They are really humble. I thought, oh, Ruben, you're back. He said it's important to sign players as soon as possible. They've proved already in the Premier League. Mateus can play in different positions, so you can change the starting 11. So he said that, yes, he's very happy that they're in for the tour. Of course, we are happy that they're in for the tour. The problem is, with the Mbeumo one in particular, I suppose, with how long it got drawn out for, did it take a bit of the shine off the deal in the end, or the signing in the end? A little bit. If you'd have said to me before the start, at the end of last season, we'll have 2 players in, Cunha and Mbeumo, for the beginning of the preseason tour of the US, I'd go, you know what? Fair enough. You know, I like that, but we still need more. We still need more, and if I know that Ruben Amorim, this is always the case with these press conferences. Since I haven't done one in a while, I feel like I should probably explain. Just because Ruben Amorim has said something in front of the media in a press conference does not always mean it's true. It was the same with Erik ten Hag. It's the same for pretty much every manager or every coach when they talk to the press. Just because they've said it and a camera was rolling, it doesn't mean shit. So he can say, I'm fine. I'm fine if this is my team for the beginning of the season. No problem. I'm very happy with it. He will want more. Of course, he will want more. He's happy that these players are in for the beginning of the tour. Yes, but we'll still need more players. Absolutely, we'll need more. He was then asked about signing a striker. Ruben Amorim, you've got these 2 10s, so are we next looking at a striker? What's the situation there? Or are you actually happy because these 2 signings that you have made, these 2 10s in Mbeumo and Cunha, can play obviously as 10s, but they can also play as 9s. So because of that, are you a bit more relaxed when it comes to signing a striker? And Amorim says the new signings they're really humble. They're really humble. That is, again, that is really important. Every word, really. It's like Erik ten Hag's there. They had other options. They read what people say about our club, but they chose to be here. That's not a typo from me. That's from the transcription from the Manchester Evening News. Be here. And this is a key point for me. In this moment, we need to be careful when we sign a player. If I start the season with this squad, I will be happy. And I thought, Ruben, you naughty devil. If I start the season with this squad, I will be happy. Now, I mean, this will depend, won't it? This will very much depend, because the first game of the season is Arsenal. If this team or this squad starts the season against Arsenal, look, he kind of says this a bit later on when he says that we are already a better team. He says we're already a better team with Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. And yes, that I would agree with that. Manchester United are a better team with those players in. I feel like it's one of those ones where it's the manager trying to display kind of unity, try and ease expectations, ease pressure. Ruben Amorim, I don't think after the, how many months has he been at Man United for now? It's about 9 months, isn't it? He came in November, and it's July, nearly August. So about 9 months. I don't think Ruben Amorim's in the position to be sitting in press conferences and go, we need a striker. We need a striker. This squad, they're shit. I'm sick of them. I mean, he basically did that last season throughout different points. And this is when it gets back to you can't win, because when he did say that, some people liked it good. Like the Ralph Rangnick thing. Like the Ralph Rangnick thing. Open heart surgery, good. And then on the other hand, because we like to talk out both sides of our mouth, we turn it. But how are we going to sell these players when he's just cussed them all out and said they're rubbish? How? We've got no leverage in the market. So I think it's one of those ones where maybe the use of the word happy is a bit overstated, but it feels like, well, we're a better team. So if we start the season with a squad, which we probably will at this point, unless something really happens quite quickly in terms of getting a striker, then we can manage with it. But I don't think he's not going to come out and be like, oh yeah, if we don't get a striker, we're going to get relegated. So might as well just forfeit the match against Arsenal now. He's not going to say that, is he? So, and this is where these press conferences can be a bit wild, because if you start going down that territory of every single word that he says getting super scrutinized and analysed, and it's just a madness, isn't it? The West Stand says the exiled four can come back and fight. Odd. We're going to talk about that. Lord Carrot, what a name that is. Put you there, Lord Carrot, where you should be. Your lordness. Says, love you, United View. You guys are the best. Well, thank you very much, Lord. And coming from Lord Carrot, from a strong vegetable there. That's high praise. High praise. And good for you. And very good for you as well. Just like United View. Excellent. Luke Shaw. They was asked about Luke Shaw. And the question was, I'm paraphrasing here, but the question was with Luke Shaw, he maybe looks fitter than I've ever seen him. And it's how important is he going to be this season? And Ruben Amorim, pretty big words. He said he is a world-class player. World-class. That is high praise. World-class. Would you describe Luke Shaw as world-class? On his day, he is a very good defender. When he is fit, he's a very good defender. Luke Shaw is very talented and is a good technical player. He's probably one of the better technical players that we've got. On his best day, would I describe him as world-class? No. Some are saying hit the red flag button. I'm not even bullshitting you, folks. My soundboard, because I was waiting that long for this press conference to start, my soundboard, which is like on a tablet that's connected to the computer here, died. That's how long this press conference was delayed. I lost the ability of sounds because this presser took so long to do. So long to watch. And then world-class. World-class, sure. Respectfully, I disagree, Ruben Amorim. I think there was a story, was it in The Sun? I think it was in The Sun, wasn't it? Which immediately, that was a, red flag about Luke Shaw. He was leaving this summer and he was going to Saudi. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's not leaving, is he? Let's be honest. The day that Luke Shaw leaves Manchester United is when his contract will expire, which is what, in a couple of years' time, 2-3 years' time. Luke Shaw's been in the club for 10 years. It's been in a couple of decades with injuries and a bit of competition, gets back into shape and has a good season here, then misses the rest of the next season. When we're talking about players we were going to sell this summer, Luke Shaw's name didn't even come up. Not because there wasn't a want to move on from him when he's always injured, but his name didn't even come up because it was the same way that Phil Jones' name used to never come up for exits in the summer, because we just knew it was going to happen. It's like me going, well, I suppose potentially what I could do this summer is marry Ana de Armas. And you go, well, potentially he's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, Owen. I suppose potentially Luke Shaw could leave this summer. Okay. And potentially I'm going to grow several more inches and become 7 feet tall. That's what's going to happen, potentially. And during that time, I'm going to inherit 3/4 of the world's wealth, potentially. Heavy work on the potential there. So, June 2014, was it? Bloody hell. I thought it was 15. Shit. It would have been, because it would have been Van Gaal's first season, would it not? Or was it his second season? Either way, Luke Shaw's not going anywhere, is he? In the question before that as well, when asked about getting more players, Ruben Amorim, he said he was happy with the squad And he said, we are clearly a better team. And I do agree with him on that in the sense of you add in Matheus Cunha, you add in Cunha Mbeumo to that team. We are a better team. They're two of the best attacking players in the Premier League last season. They would improve any team, let alone one that finished 15th. But we need more, certainly. Matheus Cunha was the player in the press conference. He was asked probably the same question about 7 times, which is kind of this... there was this kind of baffled question constantly to Cunha of, why did you join? Why did you come to Man United? Do you realise who you've joined? Are you all right? Like, you joined Man United. And did you see the table last season? Did you see them play? You did. So why did you join Man United? He got asked that honestly, near enough every question. you joined Man United, you know. What? You sure about that? So he was asked, why did you join United? And he said, United was always my dream club. I've made my dream come true. The boss was a big part. He talked to me, and it was easy to make the choice. You would have thought that answer would have sufficed, but we'll have some sequels in this stream because they effectively verbally poked Matheus Cunha with a stick to sort of go like, say you joined for the money. Say you joined for the money. Say no one else is interested. Say something about something else, because it can't be that you just like Man United. It can't be that. No. They're rubbish. You understand they're rubbish. It was like, okay. Next up was another question to Ruben Amorim. And this is what I was surprised about. I was surprised by, again, how sort of softball some of these questions were about. Usually journalists can be quite direct with these questions. But this was sort of alluding to the exiled 4, now no longer 5 because of Rashford moving to Barcelona, the exiled 4. And it was, how important is it to have players that want to be here, that want to be at Manchester United? Obviously, you haven't brought some players with you on the tour. Again, that was as much as they alluded to. You haven't brought some players with you on the tour. So how important is it that you want players that really want to be at Manchester United? And also, there's still that follows the question of, Cunha, why did you join? Why do you want to be here? why do you want to be here? And Ruben Amorim said, you can feel the bond between the players and the best teams. We remind ourselves how special it is to be at the best club in the world. I really like to be in a group that is healthy. We are going to suffer, but that feeling of bonding is really important. The spirit is positive. Now you say, hey, Ruben, yeah? What do you mean suffer? When you say suffer, what do you mean by that? Because last season you said about the storm was coming. I mean, I don't even know what the highest category of hurricane is, but it was above. Way and above. I thought you said the good days were coming. I thought you said the good days are coming. Category 5. Thank you, Jumpers for Goalposts. I thought so, but I didn't want to commit to it. I should have trusted my gut. Category 5. We were on Category 7 storm last year. So what do you mean by suffer? What do you mean by that? Do you just mean there'll be some games that, it won't be pretty, but you got to dig in together as a team? That's what we've got to do. Please, but the spirit is positive. Good. Right. Okay. If I hear the word storm, yeah. Matheus Cunha was asked about players he's bonded with. I'm not bullshitting you. It's about you've been here a few weeks. Which players did you find yourself kind of linking up with? And he did seem a little bit confused by what? He said, when we arrived, we were very welcomed, and it helps a lot. It's been 2 weeks already with the group. I feel completely fine with the tactics. Everything is important to adapt, but with time, everything will show what we do. So he didn't really say, because I don't know why you would individually, just, to be honest, I'm really good friends with Garnacho, actually. I've only been able to talk to him when Ruben's left the training ground and they come in after 4. But they're the ones I've bonded with. We can't say that. So that was an odd one. But this was maybe the quote. This was maybe the quote of the entire presser by Matheus Cunha. And if you're worried about, does this guy get it? Does this guy get it? Does he understand? Does he know what's coming in terms of the pressure and the scrutiny of being a Manchester United player? But not only a Manchester United player, Manchester United number 10. A pivotal number and figure in this team. He was asked, and it was actually Simon Stone. It's a good question from Si Stoney. He said, Matheus, there's pressure on the club after last season. There's pressure on the team, and it was a terrible year. Do you think it's one of the most scrutinized clubs in the world? Always talked about social media. There's a lot of hate journalists. Us in the room, we hate you. We hate all of you, Manchester United players. I mean, good news. That doesn't sell. So with that pressure, do you think you can help meet that pressure? Because it could get difficult. It's the first Simon Stone impression of the season. And he said a brilliant response. He said, the pressure in this club is not pressure. It's a privilege. And I thought, you know what? That's an answer. That is a good answer. Once again, the pressure in this club is not pressure. It's a privilege. Good. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the fact of don't worry about the pressure. You can't do anything about it. The scrutiny, the hate, the misleading headlines, the clickbait, the desire to see you fail and flop. Look before they're coming in. I mean, the first question he's asked in the press conference, Matheus Cunha, is, why are you here? Why have you even joined Manchester United? Why bother? Run away, mate. You don't even be here. Go somewhere else. You could have gone anywhere else. But you went to Manchester. Why? And he said, it's not about that. It's a privilege to play for this club. He continued by saying, when Ruben came to me and showed me the project, I feel like it's a challenge I want. United needs to be there, and I want to be part of the process. I don't think about being perfect. I just want to help the team. I am comfortable to be here, and with the pressure, I hope everything can be better. And I thought, you know what? That's a top answer by Matheus Cunha there. That is a top answer about, can you handle the pressure? Do you think you can meet the pressure? How do you think it's going to go? And his pushback is, it's not pressure, it's privilege. I have to pinch myself that I'm here. This is my dream club. I want to be here. I feel like I have to be here. So I tell you what, I like that. I like that level of leadership. I like that level of the A word, accountability, responsibility. How often have we said about these players going, they don't care. They don't care about the shirt. They don't care about the fans. The difference between the fan and the player is so vast nowadays. There's no common ground. How can you relate to these multimillionaires who don't give a shit about the club? And he's going, this is a privilege. This is my dream. I don't want to be anywhere else. And that is really important. Those are players that are going to run through brick walls for you. So absolutely, a very good answer. This was about selling players again. This was the bit where I think people will freak out a little bit. This was the idea that the exiled 4 could be reintegrated. Yes. Even though they've been exiled, not allowed back, you're allowed to use the training facilities, but not when we're here. You can only come after training. Not when I don't even want to see you. Out of sight, out of mind. Ruben Amorim's tone and what he said here was very different. He was asked about these high-profile players that are not here. How important is it that they're sold? Is it a concern that teams know you want to sell them? And Ruben Amorim said, I'm not concerned. He said, I'm not concerned at all. He said, we're just allowing these players to have time to think and decide. He said some players have to move to make space in the team. Others want a new challenge. We're giving them time to think. And if they reach a point where they have to join the team, i.e. return to us, they will. They will. He said Omar and Jason, obviously Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox, the CEO and director of football, have a number for these players. If that isn't reached, they will be United players. I am ready to receive the players. I have more options, and if they have to fight each other to play, that is perfect. So, obviously the meltdown then becomes, these players are coming back. We've not learned. Player power wins again. Player FC. This. Oh, God, they're going to be coming back. Sancho's going to be coming back. Garnacho's going to be coming back. Oh, my God. And I wish I had my button going, wait a minute. Because the people that were criticising Ruben Amorim, I can't believe he would just say to Alejandro Garnacho in front of the squad, and then that would be leaked out to the media, you better pray that you find a new club. You better pray that, because now we've got no leverage. We've got no leverage to sell these players. How are we going to sell these players? What are we going to do with that? Well, this is frankly quite the opposite, isn't it? This is the idea of trying to negotiate and trying to get that number that he's referring to there, which is, well, they could be reintegrated. They could, and if they are in the squad, it's more options for me. I'm fine. There's a reason they've been exiled. There's a reason Ruben Amorim doesn't want anything to do with them. He's got no interest in reintegrating those players. Those players have been told, you don't have to come in for pre-season. You're on study leave. You can use the library if you want, but you can revise at home. You can just stay at home. You don't have to come in. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. And he's answered the question there that it's one of those ones where what he hasn't said has really actually answered the question. The question was, is it a concern that teams know these players are for sale, therefore you might not get the best deal? Right? That, to me, is an answer of yes. That is a concern. Hence why I'm now going out into the media and making sure they're not the exiled four. They're not bomb squad. They're Man United players. They could come back. So, yeah. So they could come. We could bring it back in. We're just giving them time so they can understand what they want to do, or they could come back. So that's what it is. So I think he's being smart there. I don't think there's any possibility of reintegration. There is still going to be a strong desire to get rid of them. They're not on the pre-season tour. Again, they were told they don't have to come into quarantine. They can if they want to, because they can't be actually, blocked out or anything like that. So I don't think it's worth the freak out that maybe some will do about this, saying, so Sancho's going to be reintegrated into the squad. No. No, I think it's just, I would, like I said, I would say, well, what do you want him to do? Because he got criticism for being too ruthless, and we've got no position to negotiate. We've got no leverage. Does the opposite, and then it's, well, how are we going to, now he's got to bring him back in. Typical Man United. Can't sell players. Well, what do you want then? What do you want? It's either too harsh or too soft, isn't it? It's what is it? The Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We're Goldilocks fans. That's what we are. It's too cold. It's too hot. Oh, I don't like that one. No. Oh, this bed's too soft. This one's too hard. This one's just right. That's what it's all going to be. So, yeah. He was asked about Bruno Fernandes, saying because we've got Cunha and Mbeumo now, is Bruno going to be playing more as sort of that deeper role? Ruben Amorim said he can be. He said we can change in the game, but we miss Bruno as a 10. Sometimes when he is playing as a number 10, he comes to get the ball and nobody is a number 10. He can play in front also. So I think he was kind of saying that the likelihood of Bruno playing as a 10, it's just going to be very, very limited this season, isn't it? Which is to be expected. You've just signed 2 10s in Cunha and Mbeumo. So Bruno, who was playing deeper last season, Amorim saying it there. He doesn't like him playing as a 10 because and this is quite an interesting point he's trying to make here. He's effectively saying he's not disciplined enough to play as a 10 because he's so desperate to get on the ball, he can't stay in that number 10 position. He just runs around the pitch. But that was also my criticism for why he couldn't be an 8, is because I didn't think he had that discipline to stick in that position. That's one of Bruno's problems. If you've seen a Bruno heat map, it's everywhere. It's all over the pitch. It doesn't look like a tropical thunderstorm. It's just all over the place. So I'm not sure if that's the sort of tactical genius move of, well, I don't think he's disciplined to play in the 10. Well, he's not disciplined to play in any position, really, then. If we're saying that he needs to be rigid into one role, Bruno doesn't do that. He's a maverick. That's how he plays. And when you've got the best out of him, you do it by embracing it, don't you? So I'm not sure that was the sort of positive answer of, I don't like him in the 10 because he's not, like, basically he runs around too much. So he's going to be in midfield. He's going to be in the 8 where he's probably got to be even more disciplined and less of a maverick. Oh dear. That's a bit of a concern. Matheus Cunha was asked, the team struggled to score goals last season. Is that something you can bring? He says, it's the most important part of the game. I will do what I need to help the team, like score goals. I come here, I understand why I'm here, and I hope I can do my best. One of those ones, isn't it, where it's... team struggled to score goals last season. Do you think you can score goals? No, I can't, actually. Which is awkward, because they spent 62.5 million. I can't score. That was a fluke. I ain't scoring goals. You kidding me? Score goals? In an attacking position? It's not good. I don't know about that. So, yeah, one of those just like silly press conference questions. You were bought to score goals. Can you score goals? Yes. All right. That is one where if it was me, and you know, like Elise, he used to get criticised for doing the one-word answers. Well, if you ask stupid questions, then you should get a stupid answer. You know, you've been brought here to score goals. Do you think you can score goals? Yes. Can you expand on that? I'll kick the ball in the back of the net. The ball will cross the goal line. Like, what kind of question is that? Really? You know? You've played football previously in the past. Do you think you'll continue to play football here? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. You've been you've run a couple of times on the pitch. Do you think you'll run here? Yeah. You've been playing as a 10 or a striker previously. Do you think you're playing goal here? No. Okay. I'm just thinking, what's the brainstorm? That went into that question. And we got here about these signings that Ruben Amorim has made, or Manchester United have made, about signing Premier League proven players, and saying that aside from Mason Mount, it's one of the only times Manchester United have gone after these players with a lot of Premier League experience, signing from within the Premier League. He was asked if that was a deliberate strategy. And Ruben Amorim said, we need experience. Matheus is young, but with experience. That was a policy we tried to use this season. So I say yes. It's not just that. They have characteristics that we need, but we buy players who can face this kind of pressure. He also talked about how he knows, for instance, that Matheus Cunha and Cunha Mbeumo can already do it against the players we're going to face this season because they've already played in the league. So it's very clearly a strategy by United. I think it is a right one. It's something Man United used to do all the time in the Sir Alex era. It was by the best players from within the league. So that's certainly an aim, isn't it? And been a method to the transfer market. That's why we've been linked to the likes of Ollie Watkins. That's why we've been linked to the likes of Emi Martinez, Mateta, because we're going after players that have done it in the league that we're playing in, and we need them ready to go right now. We don't have time for any of the project players, the project strikers, do we? So that's part of the reason why, for sure. A couple more questions that we didn't have graphics for. Once again, I told you I'm not bullshitting you. When would I bullshit you, folks? Matheus Cunha asked once again, what about United made you want to join? Another one. You know United are shit. You know United are rubbish. You know United are rubbish. join United for? Did you see the league last season? It's crap. Why did you join for? Was it money? Was it money? Did you join for the money? Why do you want to be here? I know you said it was a dream earlier on, but I'm going to ask the same question. Why do you want to be here? He said, it's my dream club. I grew up watching this team. Next, Reba was asked about after last season, how did the results change your approach to the pre-season and what have you, and the approach to the season as well. Ruben Amorim said how it's going to be different without working, obviously, with European football. He says you have to work with a squad without European games, which is different. He said about trying to adapt, try to be better. He says, I have a clear idea, though, how I want to play, how I want to coach, but I learned a lot from last season. And finally, shout out to Adam McCullough from Stretford Paddock. He got a written question in from New York, and he asked about Kobe. Asked about Kobe Mainoo, saying to Ruben Amorim, what are your plans for Kobe this season? And he spoke in glowing terms about Kobe, did Ruben Amorim. He said, well, he can play in both positions in the midfield. He says, I think his perfect position is near with the ball, on the ball. He says, I don't have to tell you, you guys know better than me. He's a big talent. He said so he needs to improve his rhythm and pace. He says, but he's got big plans for Kobe. But with one game a week, competition is going to be huge. And he said the players need to be ready to play every game or just one game. So that's quite a curious answer. It's quite a curious answer. And by the way, again, shout out McCullough, because we've gone from questions about Mateus Cunha. Can you score goals to what's your plans for Kobe Mainoo this season? Where do you think his position is going to be? Didn't start a lot of games last season. Is he a 10? Is he an 8? You know, the actual, this was the question that KG said that he wanted to ask about Kobe. And whilst he spoke about in glowing terms, there is a bit of a, as Chris says there in the chat, a bit of a backdoor, a bit of a way out. Look, it's one game a week, mate. It's difficult to get into the team. And that's what we were saying last season when it wasn't just one game a week, right? In this system, where does Kobe fit? The decision was the 10 last year. Well, we've just signed 2 10s. And he wasn't even starting in the 10. I know he had injuries, but he wasn't even starting in the 10. So has he fallen down the pecking order even more? Is he going to play in the middle of the park? Because positions there, Bruno's going to be 1. And if it's Bruno, then the other person's got to be sort of the ball winner, which is usually going to be Casemiro or Ugarte. So where's Kobe going to play? Can't have a season of Kobe just in Carabao Cup action, can we? So I suppose options, strength and depth, but it was a curious response that from the Manchester United head coach, I thought. But there you go, guys. That was the press conference. Where are we at in terms of like? We've got over 600 people watching. We're less than 30 likes away from 300 likes, which is great. So I appreciate everyone for staying with us, because it was, again, waiting for this press conference was just madness. Amanor, the super chat, says, Owen, the poet cannot dupe me. Action speaks is louder than words. I tell you what, Amanor, is on proper Amorim watch. I think it was the other day when like the Mbeumo one was announced. He was like really happy with the signing. I'm on Amorim watch. He said, I'm still on Amorim watch. He's been saying it for months. And when the season starts and the full-time view is back, obviously the members can call in. Amanor's a regular on that show. I know he'll have a lot to say, particularly if results don't go the way that we hope they go for Ruben Amorim. So he's on Amorim watch. Abuki says, Amorim in November, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Have you seen that? Literally, she's been popping up. The person who does the voiceover for that's been popping up all over the place, isn't it? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Could you imagine if... I think I could do that. I think I could do a bit of voiceover. I don't know if maybe Jet 2 holiday would be really kind of my street. It'd probably be something like... Maltesers. They're nice, aren't they? If Carl Pilkington can get voiceover work, what does he say? Less malarkey, more smarty, or something like that. That's his catchphrase on the adverts. Well, why can't I do that? Why can't I have some kind of... I've been saying for my channel, for my late night streams for the wrestling, I'm still looking for an energy drink sponsorship. Preferably 0 calories, 0 sugar. But even if Monster, you know, unleash your inner monster in there. I'd do better. I need a script. I need a script in front of me, obviously. But, you know, Monster, KG's wife won't let him drink them. You know, something like that. We can brainstorm ideas. We can brainstorm them. I think that'd be good. And leave us with the final super chat. Says, full quote reads different. If we begin the season with this group, I'm fine with that because all the players here want to be part of this team, and that's the most important thing to me. Is that what he said? Because I thought he said the word happy. He said, I'm really pleased. Blah, blah, blah. What did he say? Something about more players. He said happy with the squad. We are clearly a better team. Maybe that's the full quote. But like I said, when it comes to these press conferences, there's a lot of bullshit, isn't there? You know what I mean? So read into it, you know, as much as you want, kind of thing. Anyway, guys, that's the press conference for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, just over 500 away from 198,000. Getting closer to 200k. There'll be more Flex and KG content from New York coming very, very soon. As I said, whether it's a preview outside MetLife Stadium, whether it's Flex and KG shows in NYC, whether it's stadium crashes, they've got it all covered. Make sure you've got notifications turned on because the upload schedule just kind of goes out the window because of time zones and what have you. There will be obviously a preview tomorrow going up early. In addition to that, you can see right there the first game of the preseason tour begins. It is Manchester United versus West Ham from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Is it East Rutherford, New Jersey? Is that where MetLife is? Or have I just made up that it's in East Rutherford? I know that is in New Jersey, but East MetLife Stadium. East Rutherford. I tell you what, do I know my American stadiums, yeah? When they've held a couple of WrestleManias there. I know them. Yeah, not bad. Big up Riri in the chat. It was with Flex, KG, and Josh yesterday. With the United View hat on as well. Yes, love that. Yeah, so I'll be live 2 hours before kickoff. Kickoff's at midnight, so I'll be live at 10 p.m. And I'll be there for all of the fun that comes with pre-season and late nights with my monster. Maybe I'll have the sponsorship by then. Anyway, guys, be sure to scan the QR code to get your Optimum from Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. You can get your Optimum Day and Night, new and improved formula. You can get Optimized. You can get Optimized as KG, Fleck, Just Josh Media, and myself have. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you again soon. I'm out of here. Peace.